Hey, this is just a practice video. I'm doing some YouTube videos for work, and I feel like I need to get a little bit better with the camera and talking on camera. So I'm going to talk a little bit about a magic deck that I've been building because I can talk magic all day. Um, I've been working on a mono black deck, which means single color deck. Everything in this deck is black or artifacts. Um, so there are a couple different parts to this deck. The main part is sacrificing creatures. I've got a bunch of skeletons that I can sacrifice and then recast out of my graveyard. Uh, Reassembling skeletons, sanitarium skeletons, and Tenacious Dead. Uh, these are cheap to cast. I can get them on the board, sacrifice them to pump up some other creatures, and then bring them back and do the whole thing all over again. So the cards that they're going to pump, I have Swarm of Bloodflies. Whenever a creature dies, this is going to get a 1/1 counter, so I can get him beefed up pretty quick. Also, Voracious Knoll. Sacrifice a creature and he gets 1/1 counters. And then Flesh Eater Imp, which is a 2/2 with Infect and it flies. Um, every time I sacrifice a creature, I can give him +1/+1. I don't have a lot of Infect cards, but I've been beaten by Infect more than once, and it's not not fun. So hopefully turn the tables on some people with that one. I also have in this deck uh, a few Death Barons. They're zombie wizards. Um, when they come into play, they're going to give zombies and skeletons +1/+1. Um, that way, I've got some creatures that are a little bit more mid range in case somebody figures out a way to get around my sacrifice creatures part of my deck. And then I also needed some kind of cannon fodder cards, so I threw in some Tattered Mummies, which are 1/2s, and when they die, target opponent loses 2 life. And Doomed Dissenters, which are 1/1s, and when they die, they create a 2/2 black zombie creature tokens, which I can then sacrifice to pump up my other creatures. The other part of this deck uh, focuses around this 3 card combo. I've got Bubbling Cauldron, Festering Newt, and Bogbrew Witch. Uh, the Bogbrew Witch lets me pay 2 and tap to search for Festering Newts or Bubbling Cauldrons. Um, Once you have Bubbling Cauldron on the board, you can sacrifice creatures to gain life, and you can gain 4 per creature. So you could heal yourself up pretty quick with that, especially when you've got a handful of skeletons that you can sacrifice and put right back out on the board the next turn. Um, the Cauldron also, if you sacrifice a Festering Newt, each opponent loses 4 life, and you gain life equal to the amount of life lost that way. So if you're playing in a group and 3 people lose 4 points that turn, I'm going to gain 12. Um, so I'm looking forward to that mechanic going off. Should really help keep me ahead. While I get my big creatures kind of pumped up and ready to go. I found a couple of enchantments to put in this deck that should work well. I've got Dictate of Erebos, which is whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent sacrifices a creature. So if I'm sacrificing skeletons, they're going to the graveyard. Everybody else is giving up creatures. Should keep people off my back while I build up my other cards. And then I also have this really cool gold attrition card from the Almond set. Um, I pay a black and sacrifice a creature, and I can destroy target non-black creature. So that one's a little bit more specific. I can pick what I want to get off the board if I need to. Um, and then the only other thing in this deck that's different than the run-of-the-mill Magic deck, I put some Memorial Follies in here. They're specially lands that I can sacrifice to return target creature from my graveyard to my hand. Um, that way, if somebody gets smart and starts picking off my newts and my witches and my skeletons, I can sacrifice this and pull at least one of them back onto the board to kind of reset me and get me going again. Um, this is one of the better decks I think I've ever built. I put it together here while I'm quarantined, but I'm looking forward to playing it, hopefully soon, and seeing what it does. So that's it for my Magic with Mike video for today. Um, I'm going to play it back and see how I did. Hopefully, I'm getting better at this whole YouTube thing. So, see you next time.